Hi, I'm Pantazi. Today I'm going to tell you a better way to make a fist. The fist, for the most part, for karate people or most martial arts, boxers, whatever, is formed this way, where all the knuckles are curled in tight and then the thumb is held over the top to secure. Okay? This forms a problem. This is more modern karate do, okay, and this is modern fist making. There's an older version that Kyusho Skill exposed in his master text and other texts of how to make a fist properly. What you want to do is you want to hold the fingers down, extend the index finger and hold it. Just holding the index finger in, and that forms that type of a fist. And you can see it in Karate Do Kyohan by Master Funakoshi. All right, and there wasn't a great explanation into it, so I'm going to go into a little bit more understanding of it and why every karateka and every martial artist basically should be using this fist compared to this fist. Okay, let's get into it. So this fist, if you make a regular fist, okay, what I'd like you to do is make a fist, tighten it, okay? Turn it up and down this way, okay? And note the range of motion, okay? It's somewhat limited. And that's because you've built up a power base. You're using all the muscles. You're using all the muscles in your forearms, the tendons, and it's hard to flex after that because you've tightened it, okay? If you go this way, okay, also less flexation. Okay, and that's one of the aspects of that tight fist, because you're not throwing a fist, you're not throwing a strike with your wrist, okay? You're throwing it with your arm and your body, and you're turning into it to get that punch to come straight out, okay? What we want to do though, okay, is use the correct fist. Now, the reason for this, and I can even hold this very tight, but look at the range of motion I have now with that index finger extended. If I tighten it, this is my range of motion, okay? And test this for yourself sitting there, okay? And you'll see. And it's even very fatiguing to do that, and you're tightening here, and you can feel a strain on the tendons. Now make that correct fist, or the old world fist, here, okay, and then flex, and you'll see that there's a lot more range of motion. There's also no fatigue on the muscles and no fatigue on the tendons, all right? Now, as you do this also, you also have flexation this way as well, okay? And this is important as well because you need that torque. Now, when you're using Kyusho, okay, you're not going to be striking with your arms, and that's where a lot of martial artists make that mistake. They get into Kyusho and then they're hitting the way they used to hit with their body, with their arm, with everything behind it, putting their shoulder into it, putting their arm muscles, their hips, everything. But what happens is that's not the way to shock the nervous system. Okay, what's going to happen with that is you're going to use blunt force trauma because you can't really focus as well. And what happens is you mute the effect of the Kyusho. Now, Kyusho needs a rapid shock onto the nerve. And you can't shock that nerve, okay, if your fist is too tight and it's made in this fist, because you can't really get that fist down. You could jam it with your arm and possibly get an effect, but to get the best effect, you want to use this fist here, okay? It gives you that transfer of power into the nerve, whether it's back fist, whether it's forward fist, you have the option, okay? You also have other options with this. If I make this, this regular fist, okay, and I punch, I'm going to be hitting with the whole flat of my hand, possibly those two knuckles, possibly this, and of course you can use this as a stick to strike using the musculature of the arm to expand with the tricep, okay, and strike. And that's all well and good, and it hurts, and it works great. You can break jaws, you can break noses, you can put out teeth, whatever you want to do with it. It's a destructive weapon, though, because you need force to make this worthwhile. Now, when you're using this here, It's just the twisting of the wrist, because torque is far more powerful than linear power. Okay, torquing power, like a screw into a wall or a board, okay, is going to have much more power and effect and penetration possibilities with less effort than the striking. Okay, so this is one of the more important parts. Now here's another important part, and this is vital also. With this, you have this knuckle, you have this knuckle, you have this knuckle. Now, that's pretty limited, okay? That's all you have with that. Now, if you're to make this fist here, okay, and use the old world, you still have the same knuckles. You have these two knuckles, you have these two knuckles, you have this knuckle also. But then you add these knuckles as a striking action, like you're knocking on someone's door, on their jaw, right next to their eye, to strike that malar nerve, okay? When you're doing that, you also have another weapon available, and you can already see it sticking out there, okay? It's the bunken, all right? Now that knuckle right there, if you're holding your fist tight to pull that up, okay, just try it, okay? Make a regular fist, and then pull that knuckle up to strike with it. Very difficult, very long, okay? From here, this is just there. Now, here's another very important aspect. If I make a regular fist and I use this knuckle here, okay, it's unsupported, okay? And if you strike down on it, it yanks your knuckle backwards, you're not going to be a happy camper, all right? But when I've held my fist this way, you can see how that's braced underneath, all right? So it's not going to go in, because what you're doing is you're forcing down into it and causing that hooking action. Now, if you put mental ability into holding that tight and hitting it the right power and everything, then it's possible to do it with a regular fist, okay? Making that and not hurting yourself. But it takes mental effort. And it takes a conscious effort, okay? And what that does in a real fight is that goes right the hell out the window, okay? If you're used to holding your fist like this, you've got that weapon available. You don't have to mentally prepare yourself to take that concussion. Okay, you don't mentally have to be prepared to strike into a hard bony surface like a cheekbone or the forehead if you miss, or even down onto the mental nerve, for as an example, a facial nerve, or coming up underneath on another facial nerve. All right, these hands, okay, this position here is utilizing these two knuckles, okay, as General Choi in his encyclopedia really puts a prominent issue on this as a tool, okay? You have that in these, okay? It's not stifled down, because now you'd crush your thumb. By keeping the finger down here, you've got those knuckles available to you, and they're more readily transferable because the wrist has that flexation. So a lot of different reasons why the old fist was the better of the two, and why they muted it just for simplicity for the school system. When karate turned into karate-do, you had it just as an action to make the person's muscles stronger and use physical force, because physical force and physical power is readily understood by everybody. It doesn't take an awful lot of conditioning to get yourself into that. Yes, conditioning is better. You'll get stronger, you'll get faster, you'll cause more damage, but that's not the real issue. Okay, the real issue is what you're using it on, okay? And if you're using select targets like Kyusho, all right, you're going to need a lot more flexibility and a lot more power transfer of the correct magnitude to affect the internal structures and the internal physiology and functionality of the human body. So there's just a little expose on that. The pictures you've seen in the background that I'm putting up are from Master Funakoshi. You see the fist in action, and that's why you want to hold your fist this way. That's why this is the old fist and a much better version. Now, if you're in a school and your instructor says to make the fist this way for your grading, don't be disrespectful and argue with the point. Do it the way they do it in the style to get your grading, to get your martial art going. But understand that your study on your own is your own, okay? And you can start adapting this right away.